This is Radhika. I am going to give a video lecture on electrical engineering and electronic devices. The subject code is 18E205C. So today we are going to discuss about semiconductor devices. In this chapter, today we are going to discuss about different transistor configuration. So in last class, we discussed about formation of PNP transistor and working of PNP transistor. So in this, today we are going to discuss about transistor configuration, how the transistor can be connected. So the transistor can be connected in three ways, that are common base configuration and common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So in last class we discussed about the uh, terminals of the transistor. It has the emitter, base and collector. So based on that terminals, we can collect and we can connect the each and every terminal to the common, we can consider as a common. So we can connect as a common base configuration, common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So in transistor configurations, we can connect the transistor in a circuit by three methods, that are common base configuration and common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So first we go for common base configuration. So here in this, in transistor transistor configuration, there are three leads in a transistor, that are emitter, base and collector. So however, when a transistor is to be connected in a circuit, we require four terminals, two for the input and two for the output. This difficult is overcome by making one terminal of the transistor common to both input and output terminals. The input is fed between this common terminal and one of the other two terminals. The output is obtained between the common terminal and the remaining terminal. According, a transistor can be connected in a circuit in the following ways. So that are common base configuration, common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So each circuit connection has specific advantages and disadvantages. It may be noted that regardless of circuit connection, the emitter is always biased in the forward direction while the collector is always a reverse biased. So first we go for common base configuration. So this is the diagram for common base configuration, and here it has the terminal will be connected to ground. So that will be the voltage will be voltage of emitter base and the voltage of collector base. So here in this is the diagram for common base. In this the base will be grounded. So here is the diagram for the common base configuration. So the PNP transistor with the bias voltage VEE and VCC and connected in common base configuration. Here IE and IC are emitter and collector currents, and VEB and VCB are emitter base voltage and collector base voltage. So graphs may be plotted choosing two out of four variables as dependent variables and other two independent variables. So in transistor, it is most useful to select input current and output voltage as the independent variable. So the output current and input voltage then form the dependent variable. So in common base configuration, it has the input characteristics as well as output characteristics. In output characteristics, it has the active region, saturation region, and cutoff region. So in this uh, we can watch a one video. So mm,
Characteristics of common base CB. In this lesson, the learner will be able to describe common base configuration, explain characteristics of common base configuration. Previously, we have seen the construction and operation of BJT. Now, we can see common base configuration in detail. The common base terminology is derived from the fact that the base is common to both the input and output sides of the configuration. In addition, the base is usually the terminal closest to or at ground potential. In this configuration, input is applied between emitter and base, and output is taken from the collector and base. All current directions will refer to conventional, that is, hole flow rather than electron flow. The result is that the arrows in all electronic symbols have a direction defined by this convention. To understand complete electrical behavior of a transistor, it is necessary to study the interrelation of various currents and voltages. These relationships can be plotted graphically, which are commonly known as the characteristics of transistor. The characteristics of transistor in any configuration are input and output characteristics. Input characteristics is the curve between input current IE, emitter current, and input voltage VEB, emitter base voltage, at constant collector base voltage VCB. After the cut-in voltage, the emitter current IE increases rapidly with small increase in emitter base voltage VEB. Now, let us plot the input characteristics for VCB is equal to 5 volts. After the cut-in voltage, 0.7 volts for silicon and 0.3 volts for germanium, the emitter current IE increases rapidly with small increase in emitter base voltage VEB. It means that input resistance is very small because input resistance is the ratio of change in emitter base voltage to the resulting change in emitter current at constant collector base voltage. This resistance is also known as the dynamic input resistance of the transistor in CB configuration. When we increase collector base voltage to 10 volts with constant emitter base voltage, the emitter base current increases slightly. For VCB equal to 5 volts, when VEB is 1.5 volts, then IE is 1.2 mA. When VCB equal to 10 volts, when VEB 1.5 volts, here in this stage, IE is 2 mA. Thus, it can be observed that there is slight increase in emitter current IE with increase in VCB. When reverse bias voltage VCB increases, the width of depletion region also increases, which reduces the electrical base width. Due to reduction of the electrical base width, now there are more charged particles per unit area. This increase in concentration of charge carriers causes more diffusion of electrons from n-type base increasing emitter current slightly. Early effect or base width modulation. The decrease in effective base width with increasing reverse bias of collector base junction is called as early effect or base width modulation. It is the curve between collector current IC and collector base voltage VCB at constant emitter current IE. The output characteristics have active, cutoff, and saturation regions. For the operation in the active region, the emitter base junction is forward biased while collector base junction is reverse biased. In this region, collector current IC is approximately equal to the emitter current IE and the transistor works as an amplifier. If the emitter current is 0, the collector current is simply ICBO as shown in figure. This current is so small in magnitude compared to the vertical scale of IC that it virtually appears on the exaggerated scale for understanding purpose. The region below the curve IE is equal to 0 is known as cutoff region where the collector current is nearly 0. The saturation region is that region of the characteristics which is to the left of VCB is equal to 0 volts. There is an exponential increase in collector current as the voltage VCB increases towards 0 volts. In the active region, the collector current is essentially almost constant and the graph is almost parallel to x-axis. The collector current IC is almost independent on collector base voltage VCB and the transistor can be set to work as constant current source. This provides very high dynamic output resistance. Dynamic output resistance is the ratio of change in collector base voltage to the resulting change in collector current at constant emitter current IE. As IE increases, IC also increases. Thus, IC depends upon input current IE but not on collector voltage. Hence, input current controls output current. For every transistor, there is limit on the maximum value for reverse bias voltage. The reverse bias voltage must be within the maximum safe limits. If this maximum limit is exceeded, transistor breakdown occurs. The curves shown at the right side of dotted line represent the breakdown condition. When collector to base voltage increases, width of the depletion region at the junction increases. When VCB increases above the VCB max, increase in depletion region is such that it penetrates into the base until it makes contact with emitter base depletion region. This condition is called punch through or reach through effect. When this situation occurs, breakdown occurs, that is, large collector current flows which destroys the transistor. The slope of the CB characteristics gives the four transistor parameters, namely input impedance, output admittance, forward current gain, and reverse voltage gain. They are commonly known as common base hybrid parameters or H parameters. Input impedance HIB is the ratio of the change in emitter base voltage to the change in emitter current with the collector base voltage VCB kept constant. It is the slope of CB input characteristics IE versus VEB. The typical value of HIB ranges from 20 to 50 ohm. Output admittance HOB is the ratio of change in the collector current to the corresponding change in the collector voltage with the emitter current IE kept constant. The typical value of this parameter is in the order of 0.1 to 10 micromho. Forward current gain HFB is the ratio of change in the collector current to the corresponding change in the emitter current keeping the collector voltage VCB constant. Its typical value varies from 0.9 to 1.0. Reverse voltage gain HRB is the ratio of change in the emitter voltage to the corresponding change in collector voltage with constant emitter current IE. Its typical value is in the order of 10 to the power of minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 4. Summary. In this topic, we have learnt common base configuration, common base characteristics, punch through F.
So in this, uh, in YouTube you can watch the common base, input characteristics and output characteristics. So next, in the base of the transistor is common to both input and output circuits. Input junction is in a forward bias region and output junction is in a reverse bias region. Input signal is applied between emitter and base. So output signal is taken from collector and base. So here next we go for NPN common emitter configuration. In this diagram we can observe the emitter will be grounded. So here the voltages are base emitter and the voltage of common emitter. So in NPN transistor, in common emitter or a grounded emitter configuration, in the C configuration also the input current and the output voltage taken as the independent variables, whereas the input voltage and the output current from the dependent variables. So we may then express the output current IC and the input voltage VBE. So based on IC and VBE, we have the functions of input IB and output voltage VCE. So in common emitter configurations also it has the input characteristics and output characteristics. So here this is the diagram for common emitter, how it will be works, and this is the common emitter, and so this is the input characteristics of common emitter, and this is the output characteristics of common emitter. So this will be we will watch in YouTube. So that is
Punch through effect.
so in this
Hey friends, welcome to the YouTube channel All About Electronics. So in this video, we will learn about the common emitter configuration of the BJT. So this common emitter configuration is the frequently used configuration of the BJT. And in fact, for most of the time, when the BJT is used for the amplifier, then it is used in this configuration. Now in this configuration, the emitter terminal is common between the input and the output side. That means in this configuration, the input is applied between the base and the emitter terminal, and the output is measured between the collector and the emitter terminal. And here, to use the BJT as an amplifier, the base emitter junction is forward biased while the collector base junction is reversed biased. And schematically, it can be represented like this. And here, if we see the direction of the currents, then it will look like this. So here, this base current IB is the input current, while this collector current IC is the output current. Similarly, this voltage VB is the voltage on the input side, while this voltage Vc is the voltage on the output side. Now considering these DC biasing voltages are already applied, if we apply the sine wave between this base and the emitter terminal, then we will get the amplified output between this collector and the emitter terminal. Now in this configuration, to understand the behavior of the device, we need to understand the two types of characteristics. One is the input characteristics and the second is output characteristics. So these input characteristics defines the relationship between this base current IB and the voltage VB. Similarly, these output characteristics defines the relationship between this collector current IC and the voltage VC. So first of all, let us see the input characteristics. So in this input characteristics, different IB versus VB curves are shown for the different values of VC. Now if you look these curves, then they are similar to the forward characteristic of this PN junction diode, because if you look over here the base emitter junction on the input side is forward biased. And one more thing, if you observe over here, as the value of Vc increases, this base current IB reduces. So let us understand the reason behind it. Now here this voltage Vc can be given as voltage VCB plus voltage VB. That means the voltage between this collector to base terminal and the voltage between base and emitter terminal. Now for the fixed value of VB, if we increase this value of Vc, then this voltage VCB will also increase. And as the value of VCB increases, the reverse bias which is applied between the collector and base terminal will also increase. So let's say for some voltage VCB, the depletion region is created at the collector to base junction. And now as we increase the value of VCB, then this depletion region will get wider. So due to that, the effective base width will reduce. And due to that, now the probability of recombination in this base region will reduce. And due to that, most of the electrons will get collected at the collector terminal. So due to that, this base current IB will reduce. So we can say that as the value of Vc increases, this base current IB will reduce. And due to that, we are getting this type of curves. Alright. So similarly, now let us see the output characteristics. So this output characteristic shows the relationship between this collector current IC and the voltage VC. So here the different IC versus VC curves are shown for the different values of the base current. Now this curve can be divided in three regions. One is the active region, the second is the saturation region, and the third is cutoff region. So one by one, let us talk about each region. Now in case of the active region, as the base current IB increases, this collector current IC also increases. But here, unlike the common base configuration, as the value of Vc increases, this collector current IC also increases. That means here, these collector curves are not totally horizontal. And the reason is that as the value of Vc increases, then this collector to base voltage VCB will also increase. Because as I said earlier, this Vc can be given as voltage VCB plus voltage VB. That means as the value of VCB increases, then the width of the depletion region will also increase. And due to that, the effective base width will reduce. And as the effective base width reduces, then the probability of recombination in this base region will also reduce. And due to that, more and more electrons are able to cross this base junction. So due to that, we can say that as the value of Vc increases, this collector current IC also increases. Now whenever the BJT is used as an amplifier, then it is used in this active region. And in this region, this base current IB gets amplified by the factor of beta. That means if IB is the input current, then the output current IC can be given as beta times IB. So this beta is known as the current gain of this common emitter configuration. Now if we talk about the AC gain, then this beta AC can be given as delta IC divided by delta IB. That means the change in the collector current to the change in the base current. Now usually the value of this beta AC and beta DC are not same, but as they are very close to each other, often they are used interchangeably. Now if we talk about the next region of operation, then it is the saturation region. Now as the value of Vc reduces and it gets close to the zero, at that time this collector to base junction becomes forward biased. So whenever this collector to base junction and the base to emitter junction are forward biased, in this condition the BJT operates in this saturation region. Then if we talk about the third region of operation, then it is the cutoff region. So the transistor operates in this region whenever the base current IB is 0. Now in this cutoff region, if you notice over here, unlike the common base configuration, here the collector current is non-zero. Or we can say that in this cutoff region, the value of collector current is relatively large. So in case of the common base configuration, we had seen that whenever the input emitter current is 0, at that time the collector current which exists is due to the reverse saturation current, and we had seen that it can be given as ICBO, or we can say that it is the leakage current. But in this case, that means in this common emitter configuration, whenever this current IB is 0, at that time the value of this leakage current is more. So let us understand it. Now in case of the common base configuration, we had seen that the collector current IC can be given as alpha times IE plus ICBO, where ICBO is the reverse saturation current. Now we also know that this emitter current IE can be given as IC plus IB. That means we can say that this collector current IC is equal to alpha times IC plus IB. And if we rearrange the equation, then we can write it as 1 minus alpha times IC, that is equal to alpha times IB plus ICBO. That means IC is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha times IB plus 1 divided by 1 minus alpha times ICBO. Now we know that this alpha divided by 1 minus alpha is equal to beta, and we have already derived this expression in the introductory video. So we can say that this collector current IC is equal to beta times IB plus 1 divided by 1 minus alpha times ICBO. Now whenever this base current IB is 0, at that time this collector current IC can be given as 1 divided by 1 minus alpha times ICBO. Now typically the value of alpha is very close to unity, and typically it varies from 0.95 to 0.99. That means the value of 1 minus alpha will be very small, or in other words we can say that the value of 1 over 1 minus alpha will be very large, and to be precise it will be equal to beta plus 1 times ICBO, because if you are aware, the beta can be given as alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. So beta plus 1 can be given as 1 divided by 1 minus alpha. So this will be the value of the leakage current whenever the base current IB is equal to 0, and it is defined as current ICEO. That means it is the leakage current which is flowing through the collector to emitter terminal whenever the base terminal is open. So this value of ICEO can be given as beta plus 1 times ICBO. That means here we can say that in this common emitter configuration, this leakage current gets amplified by the factor of beta plus 1. So let's say for a one transistor, if beta is equal to 99 and the value of ICBO is equal to 1 microampere, in that case this current ICO will be equal to 100 microampere, and that is why in this cutoff region there is a large leakage current. Now as I said earlier, during the active region of operation, this input current gets amplified by the factor of beta, and this beta is known as the current gain of this configuration. And whenever we connect the load between this collector to emitter terminal, then we can also obtain the voltage gain. So this common emitter configuration provides the moderate current gain as well as the moderate voltage gain, but it provides the very high power gain. And in fact, that is why this configuration is frequently used for the signal amplification. Now if we talk about the input and output impedance in this configuration, then they are in the moderate range. Now in this configuration, typically the output impedance is in the range of 50 to 100 kilo ohms. Now although it is high, but it is lower compared to the common base configuration, because if you see over here in the output characteristic, these collector curves are not perfectly horizontal. Similarly, if we see the input impedance, then typically it is in the range of kilo ohms, and that can be found by finding the slope of this input characteristic. So here this input impedance or the input resistance can be given as delta VBE divided by delta IB. So in short, these are the basic properties of this common emitter configuration, and we will see in detail about all these properties during the AC analysis of the BJT. And in fact, at that time we will also find the exact values of this voltage gain and the input and the output impedance. But for a while, just keep in mind these properties of this common emitter configuration. So I hope in this video you understood the basics of this.
So this is about common emitter configuration, inputs, input and output characteristics. The emitter of the transistor is common to both input and output circuits. The input junction is in a forward bias region and output junction is in reverse bias region. So input signal is applied between base and emitter. The output signal is taken from collector and emitter. So now next we go for a common collector configuration. So this is the diagram for common collector configuration. So in this the NPN transistor is a common collector configuration. Here the input signal is connected between the base and the collector. The output appears between emitter and collector. This circuit is popularly known as emitter follower. So the input characteristics and output characteristics of NPN transistor in common collector mode, the characteristics are resembles the characteristics of common emitter transistor. The voltage gain of this amplifier is poor, but it has got an important characteristics of having very high input resistance and very low output resistance. This property makes it very useful in immediate matching applications. So useful in impedance matching application. So this is the diagram, and the collector terminal will be grounded and here connected VBC and VEC. So in this, the working of and input characteristics we can watch in YouTube. So that is
So if you have any question or Hey friends, welcome to the YouTube channel All About Electronics. So in this video, we will learn about the common collector configuration of the BJT. So in case of this common collector configuration, this collector terminal is common between the input and the output side. That means here, the input is applied between the base and the collector terminal, and the output is measured between the emitter and the collector terminal. Now here, when we say that the collector is common between the input and the output side, then actually we are referring to the AC signal. But for the DC biasing perspective, the circuit would look like this. And here, to use this BJT as an amplifier, it is biased in such a way that this base emitter junction gets forward biased and the collector base junction gets reverse biased. And in fact, in terms of the DC biasing perspective, it looks quite similar to the common emitter configuration. But here, this resistor is connected on this emitter side. But when we talk about the AC signals or during the AC analysis, all the DC voltage sources are considered as 0. That means during the AC analysis, this collector terminal gets grounded. Now when we apply the AC signal at this base terminal and when we measure the output at this emitter terminal, then we can say that the input is applied between this base and the collector terminal and the output is measured between this emitter and the collector terminal. So this is how the AC input signal is applied at the base terminal and the output is measured at the emitter terminal. And if required, the load can be connected over here. But for simplicity, if we neglect this base resistor and the coupling capacitors, then the equivalent circuit for the AC signal would look like this. But for the DC perspective, this is how the biasing voltages are applied. So now if we see the direction of the currents, then the direction of the currents in the circuit would look like this. So here this base current is the current on the input side, while this emitter current is the current on the output side. And similarly, if we see the DC voltage on the input side, then it is equal to VCB and the DC voltage on the output side is equal to VCE. That means here this IB and the VCB are the currents and voltage on the input side, while this IE and the VCE are the parameters of the output side. And similar to the other configurations, the behavior of the device can be described by the two characteristics. That means the input and the output characteristics. So first of all, let us see the output characteristics. So this output characteristics defines the relationship between this emitter current IE and the voltage VCE. And if you look this different IE versus VCE curves, then it is very similar to the common emitter configuration. Because over here, this emitter current IE can be given as alpha times IC. And as the value of alpha is very close to unity, so we can say that this emitter current is approximately equal to collector current. That means with the change in this voltage VCE, the variation in this emitter current is similar to the collector current. And that is why in this configuration, the output characteristics looks similar to the common emitter configuration. Now if we talk about the input characteristics, then it shows the relationship between this base current IB and the voltage VCB. And as you can see, for the fixed value of voltage VCE, as we increase this voltage VCB, then this base current IB reduces. Because this voltage VCE can be given as voltage VCB plus voltage VBE. That means for the fixed value of voltage VBE, as the voltage VCB increases, the width of the depletion region increases. And due to that, the effective base width reduces. And as the effective base width reduces, the probability of recombination in this base region reduces. And due to that, this base current IB reduces. That means as the voltage VCB increases, this base current IB reduces. Now for the fixed value of VCB, as we increase the voltage VCE, or in other words, as we increase this voltage VBE, then the base current IB will increase. Because as the voltage VBE increases, more and more electrons will be pushed by this emitter terminal. And due to that, this base current IB will increase. That means for the fixed value of voltage VCB, as we increase this voltage VCE, then the base current IB will increase. Or in other words, for the larger value of VCE, the entire curve will get shifted on the right hand side. Now as I said earlier, in this common collector configuration, this emitter current is the current on the output side, while the base current is the current on the input side. And the ratio of this emitter current to the base current is known as the current gain of this common collector configuration, and it is denoted by the symbol of gamma. That means gamma is equal to IE divided by IB. And this gamma can also be represented in terms of the alpha and the beta. So now let us find out the relationship between this alpha, beta and the gamma. Now we know that this emitter current IE can be given as IC plus IB. That means this gamma is equal to IC plus IB divided by IB. And if we neglect the reverse saturation current, then this collector current IC can approximately given as beta times IB. That means gamma is equal to IC divided by IB plus 1, and that is equal to beta plus 1. That means gamma is equal to beta plus 1. Now we also know that this beta can be given as alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. That means beta plus 1 will be equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha plus 1. That is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus alpha. That means we can say that this gamma is equal to beta plus 1, that is equal to 1 over 1 minus alpha. So this is the relationship between this alpha, beta and the gamma. Now from this we can say that gamma is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus alpha. And if we multiply both sides by the alpha, then we can say that alpha into gamma is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. And we know that alpha divided by 1 minus alpha is equal to beta. That means we can say that this alpha into gamma is equal to beta. So these are the relationship between this alpha, beta and the gamma. Now this common collector configuration provides the very high input impedance and very low output impedance. And that is why it is often used for the impedance matching in the amplifier circuit. Then if we talk about the current and the voltage gain, then it provides the very high current gain and very low voltage gain. So in this configuration, this current gain is equal to beta plus 1 and the voltage gain is close to unity. And if we talk about the power gain, then this configuration provides the low power gain. So these are the basic properties of this common collector configuration.
So, this is about the common collector input and output characteristics. So the collector of the transistor is common to both input and output circuits. The input junction is in a forward bias region and the output junction is in a reverse bias region. So input is applied between base and collector. The output is taken from emitter and collector. So here we have the few quiz questions, and before going to quiz questions, we have the comparison of amplifier and configurations, and also we have the terms and concept. So here so in this it has the drift process, diffusion process and Fermi level, and in this we have the PN junction diode, and also it has the reverse bias and reverse saturation current I naught and forward bias and volt ampere equation of diodes, and also bipolar junction transistors. In bipolar junction transistors, a PNP bipolar junction transistor consists of a silicon or germanium crystal in which a thin type with a thin n type layer called base is sandwiched between two layers of p type called emitter and collector. In NPN transistor, thin is the p type base layer is sandwiched between n type emitter and collector layers. So in active region, a BJT is said operate is active region when emitter junction is forward biased and the collector junction is reverse biased. In current amplification factor, it is the ratio of change in collector current to the change in emitter current at a constant collector base voltage VCB. And also it has the base current amplification factor, that is beta. It is the ratio of um, change in collector current to change in the base current. So here, so in this we have the few expressions and the relations of alpha and beta, and also it has the input resistance. It is the ratio of small change in base emitter voltage to the resulting change in the base current at constant collector emitter voltage. And the output resistance is, it is the ratio of change in collector emitter voltage to the resulting change in collector current at constant base current. In effective collector load, it is the total load as seen by as collector current. The effective collector load is R and the multi-stage amplifier. So in this it has the current gain and voltage gain and power gain. So uh, it has the transistors. Transistors have the few applications. The applications are, transistors are most widely used as switches, amplifiers and oscillators. So these are commonly used as modulators, clippers and clampers. Transistors are also used in digital circuits, that is logic gates, multivibrators, and also used in several communication circuits. The transistors are most widely used as a switches, amplifiers and oscillators. These are commonly used as modulators, clippers and clampers. So transistors are also used in a digital circuit, that is logic gates, multivibrators and also used in several communication circuits. So in the comparison of amplifier configurations, in it will be comparison of the quality, common base, common emitter and common collector. So in case of the quantities current gain, in common base it has the nearly unity, that will be 0.9. Come to common emitter, that is very high, that is minus 47.6. And so common emitter, that is high current gain, that is 47.6. And common collector, it is very high, 48.6. So voltage gain, that is in common base, that is high, that will be 86.78. And common emitter also high, and common collector, that is nearly unity. So in power gain, the power gain is in a common base, it is the medium, approximately 85. And in common emitter it is very high, that is 4211. And in common collector it is the medium, that is 48. So in quantity, the input impedance in common base it is very low, that is 22.6 ohm. In common emitter it is the medium, means that is 1076 ohm. And in common collector it is very high, that is 48.24 kilo ohms. So here, so and also it has the output impedance Z0. So in common base it is very high, that is 1.66 mega ohm. And in common emitter it has the medium high, that is 54.3 kilo ohm. And in a common collector the impedance is very low, that is 37.23. So in phase reversal, in common base, that is no. The in common emitter, that is yes, that is 180 out of phase. And in collector, no. So this is today's class of common base configuration and common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. And also here we have the few quiz questions, and also it has the frequently asked questions that are draw the common base PNP transistor circuit and draw the common emitter PNP transistor circuit and draw the common collector NPN transistor circuit. So this is the today's class. Next we will go to another class. Thank you.